excited. This is really excited. So I'm going to give you a little anecdote while people are logging in and we're getting started with this whole new fancy schmancy live thing. Here's your fun anecdote for the day when it comes to going live and filming. Have you ever had to do a video or a live film? You know, something that you have to go through and you practice for it and you hit record and you're like, yes, I crushed it. I nailed it. And then you realize you just took a really awkward picture of yourself and you didn't record anything. Yeah, that happened to the person who was running the camera on my wedding day. So, however, there always seems to be a camera around when you're making a fool of yourself. How does that work? How does that work? In today's modern technology, I don't know. When you want to record it, it doesn't record. When you don't want it on film, the whole world sees it. Speaking of the whole world, welcome to Kari's Corner. Brought to you by your friends at Worldwide HealthStaff Solutions. We are coming at you live and direct. I am your host, Kari Cooper. Our goal for this program is to host a weekly segment regarding all things ESL, right? Your English skills impact every single part of your journey to the United States, starting with the interview process all the way to when you start your new job and your new life in the United States. It's not just important to learn English for that really pesky English exam, right? We all love the English exam. No, no one loves the English exam, and I'm okay with that. But the real test of your English skills starts when you step off of that airplane and you start your new life into the United States. Because, hey, day one on the job, they're going to be speaking English, and you are expected to speak English right back to them. So, that's why English is really important, and at Worldwide, we decided to start a weekly show, a little weekly segment, hopefully put some pep in your step when it comes to studying English. So, we're bringing you Kari's Corner. Now, this is just a testing episode, to see how things work going live. A lot can happen when you're live, so there is an aspect of excitement to it. Bonus, it will give me a chance to shout out to our viewers. Now, I would really love to shout out to our viewers if I could figure out how to see the chat feature. So that's going to be on my to-do list next time. Maybe. Nope, I almost ended the live video because I clicked something. So I'm not going to click anything, and I'm going to figure out how to see the chat feature by the next time. But if you are watching, please drop a comment in the chat box, and not just a comment. Don't just say hey. Use this opportunity to give a shout out to your stellar, amazing, awesome case manager. We have some amazing case managers, and they're located all over the world. Whether you're a nurse aide or an RN, I love our case management team. They are thebomb.com. If you're still in that recruitment process or you're working with a recruitment agent, give them a shout out too. Show our recruitment people some love. They work really hard to find you that perfect placement. So many people at Worldwide have their hands on your case as you're starting your journey to the United States, right? You may be, I know that you're over there and you're in your own little world and you're focused on like your task list and your to-do list and what you have to get done, and you may feel ostracized or you feel alone. But I promise you, you are not alone. There are so many people with their hands. We have an amazing legal team and a licensure team and our case managers and our recruitment and our relocation team. We have so many people who are excited to help you and want to help you and are thinking about you. So if you ever get to that point in your journey where you're defeated or you're like, I'm doing this by myself, I feel alone, I promise you, you're not. You are not alone. So use this opportunity to show some love. Show some love to anyone who is helping you on your journey right now. So we're going to start off today with kind of just a little taste test, a little mini lesson is what I like to call it. And we're going to do how to introduce yourself in an interview, right? And so some of you may be watching and you're like, I've already done this. I've already done my ESL test. I've already taken my IELTS or my TOEFL or my PTE or whatever it is you took. I don't need this. Guess what? You do. Okay? And the reason I'm saying that is because when you start your job on day one, are you just going to roll up in there like you own the place? No. You have to introduce yourself. You have to introduce yourself to your coworkers. You have to introduce yourself to your boss. You'll have to introduce yourself to your patients. So knowing how to introduce yourself professionally, competently, all of that goes way beyond just the English test. It is so important, okay? So step one when you're introducing yourself. And this, of course, there are so many different cultural things that happen all over the world and different ways of greeting people that are culturally appropriate. So what I'm going to be talking about is here in the United States, kind of a United States way of greeting people. So step one is walk in confidently. Show confidence in the way you walk. Don't have hunched over your shoulders. Don't be looking down like, oh, don't look at me, don't look at me. No, you need to be confident and you need to make eye contact. I know in some cultures it's seen possibly as disrespectful to make eye contact. I think that's how it works for like little kids and adults. But in the United States, eye contact is very, very important. So walking in confidently sets the tone for the introduction, right? Step two is speaking clearly. Speaking clearly. And I know that some of you may be scared or you may be a little intimidated by the fact you're like, I have an accident. My man Tracy is helping me with the chat. If I can pull it up on my mobile, I don't know. I'm really scared to like move or touch anything right now, Tracy. So anyway, we're going to get back to kind of the mini lesson. Hopefully I'll figure that out, the chat feature out shortly. I promise. But speaking clearly. So if you sit down and you introduce yourself and you're like, hi, my name is Kari and I want to be a nurse in the United States and that's why I'm here. That is nothing. That is not confident. Your interviewer, the person looking at you, is going to say, excuse me? You want to eat me? What? Like they have no clue what you just said. So speaking clearly is very important. So don't worry about your accent hindering your ability to be understood. A lot of times when you're nervous and you're not speaking confidently, that's when, and that's true for native English speakers. I used to teach public speaking, and if someone gets up, and even if they're speaking English and they're mumbling, I have no clue what they're saying. So speaking confidently and clearly is very, very important. So the next thing, when you meet someone, a simple hi or hey, totally fine. Keep it casual. All right? Keep it casual. Tracy's telling me I'm getting a lot of hellos and shout outs. Yay! So keep it casual. You want to avoid words like if you walk in and you say something like, greetings. You're not an alien, okay? Greetings, earthlings. I come in peace. No. Okay? No. Or avoid things like, my daughter's reading Charlotte's Web right now. I don't know if you're familiar with that fantastic classic. But salutations. No, you want to avoid that. That's going to kind of honestly send off a little bit of a weird vibe. So keep it simple, keep it casual. Hey, hello. Those are totally fine and appropriate greetings, even in a professional environment, to just say hey or hello. So the next thing they're going to do, even if you're taking the PTE, they're going to ask you to introduce yourself. Or it might even be something simple like they want you to introduce yourself, right? They just tell me a little bit about yourself. That might be something they say. And the thing with the PTE is that it tells you like this part isn't scored. And I love, oh, we've got shout out to my case manager, Natalie. Yes, I love it. Tracy's updating me on the shout out, so I'm going to give a shout out to Tracy today. So when you're introducing yourself, you want to mention just a few things, right? They're not asking you for your entire biography, okay? You're not going to start off with, I was born on a crisp October morning when my mother, like, no, 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 we're good. We don't need to go that far back. You want to keep it to something simple, a couple simple things. Give them your name, where you're from. You know, that could be where you're currently living, or it could be where you grew up. Either one of those. Shout out to Medela Santiago. Whoop, whoop. So it could be something simple, you know, where you're from, and then you could just say what you do for a living. If you want to give a little more, now sometimes if you are, especially if you're in kind of a professional environment or you're sitting down for an interview for a job, you may want to give a little more. So the only other extra thing I would give would be maybe your family. If you're married, if you're single, if you have kids. In the United States, we call them our fur babies. And no, I'm not talking about very hairy children. I'm talking about our pets. Okay, so that's another fun fact. If you're studying and prepping for the IELTS and you want to use some of that American colloquialism, we call our pets sometimes our fur babies. So if you hear that, don't think they have very hairy children in the United States. No, no, no. Those are our pets. So when you introduce yourself, keep it short, keep it sweet, like under 10 seconds. So for example, if I was sitting down and even if I was doing the PTE, or if I'm sitting down for an IELTS interview, or I'm sitting down and meeting my boss for the first time, something like this. Hey, my name is Kari Cooper. I was born in the great state of Florida. For a living, I am an ESL Program Coordinator for Worldwide HealthStaff. I'm married to my husband, Andrew. We have 2 children and 2 dogs. And that's just a little about me. Short, sweet, simple, to the point. The great thing about being able to, there's a couple of great things when you introduce yourself and you introduce yourself confidently. If you're in an IELTS situation, what happens with that IELTS situation is maybe if you say, I'm a nurse and I'm going to the United States, that might prompt some questions for your interview. So you're already taking control of that situation, right? The other thing is they're not going to look at you and say, well, you're wrong. Like, what? I'm not married? Yeah, I am married. Yes, I have 2 children. They're not going to tell you you're wrong in your introduction. So starting off confidently can really set the tone for a job interview. It can set the tone for your IELTS interview, even for the PTE when they tell you, you're not scored. Okay, let's be honest. That's your first impression. That's the first thing they hear, the first thing they're listening to. And granted, yes, they're checking like their audio to make sure that, you know, audio, sound, all that kind of stuff is working. That's what they use to test that. But that's your first impression. The person listening to that can hear you. And they're hearing you speak. And you want to speak confidently. So introductions are so, 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 so important. I cannot stress the importance of a good, solid introduction, right? And the final tip I have for you with introductions is to breathe. Goosefraba, right? Keep it light. Use this time to really focus on breathing. Do a mental well check. Make sure you're listening. Make sure you're attentive. I know a lot of times you sit down, and especially with the IELTS, they'll take your passport, and then you have those moments of like awkward silence where you may hear the fan in the room, or you hear other people talking, or you hear your own heart beating out of your chest, right? Because you're so nervous. Don't think about, breathe. Focus on your breathing and make sure you're ready to be an active listener just as much as you're ready to be an active speaker, because listening to those questions, get out of your own head, stop thinking about, well, they could ask me this or they could ask me that, or thinking about, you know, they'll start a question and you already start thinking of your answer in your head, right? And then you miss the second half of the question, and then you're going to get points off because you didn't listen to the entire question. So breathe. Use those moments to take a deep breath. Okay? All right. There is supposed to be a survey. I'm not sure if the survey's up. Tracy would be able to tell me that. Hopefully there's going to be a survey. But today, you have homework, folks. That's right. You have homework. I need your feedback. What I need for you to do is tell us what time of day works best for you for our live broadcast. Now, if you say 1 p.m., Tracy does not see the survey. So this is going to be very important. If you just say 1 p.m., that's no good. Okay? 1 p.m. in Timbuktu, 1 p.m. in Kalamazoo. Where are you? Okay? We are in the Eastern time zone, which is the New York time zone. Okay? That's where we are. So I need to know what time of day and your location. So in the United States, we're getting ready to do this really cool thing, and a lot of people love it or they hate it. It's called the time change, and not every state does this, but a majority of them still do. The time change, and here's your history lesson for the day. Boys and girls, are we ready? The time change kind of was brought about was to give more daylight hours for farmers and people working in the agriculture industry. That's one reason. I'm sure there were a variety of reasons for the time change. But in the United States, we do a time change. And in the fall, we fall back. In the spring, we spring forward. So this Sunday at exactly 2 a.m., basically in the United States, it will fall back to 1 a.m. So we gain an hour. And it's all of that, like the time and the earth and the moon and the where it works and all that is way above my brain capacity. I don't understand any of it. Gaining an hour, whatever. I'm just letting you know there is a time change over here in the United States. So, for example, what used to be a 12-hour difference, I know we got a lot of Manila and Philippines people out there. Love my Philippines people. There used to be a 12-hour difference. Well, guess what? On Sunday, that's going to become a 13-hour difference. Okay? For us here, a majority of us here in the United States, specifically in the Eastern time zone, which is that New York time zone. We will do our best to make sure that the show is at a convenient time for as many viewers as possible. However, we are living in this crazy 21st century world where the episodes will be recorded and available on all of our social media platforms. Speaking of social media, we want to get those numbers up. Every week in our staff meetings, our amazing marketing director, Tracy, gives us a by the numbers update. So I would love to see those numbers go up. Right now, we're kind of in a competition between like LinkedIn, I think it's LinkedIn, and Instagram. And I want to see those Instagram numbers surpass LinkedIn, just because. So share us with your friends. Our marketing team works so hard to spread the word, and your referral really is the best compliment that we can receive. And one way to refer us is to share us on social media. So please like, comment, share, post on Facebook, post on Instagram. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you're an RN or a nurse aide looking to apply, navigate your way to healthstaff.org. That's www.healthstaff.org. We have live folks who are standing by and waiting to help you start your journey to the United States. The other thing is, this is going to be a weekly segment, a weekly episode. So next week's episode is actually going to outline our ESL program. So I've seen a couple of you, or Tracy's let me know there's a couple of you with chats who are asking questions about the ESL program. So I'm going to kind of hook you in a little bit and make you tune in next week to find out more about our ESL program. So great news, you're looking at the ESL program. Hi, I'm a Department of One, Kari Cooper, ESL Program Coordinator. I've been a teacher for 15 years. I've taught English for 15 years all over the South in the United States. But our ESL program is one that only Worldwide is providing for free. It's a totally free program. That's right, folks. Not a lot of things are free in today's world, but my ESL program course is. However, it's only free if you're a Worldwide candidate. So, work on becoming a Worldwide candidate if you're not yet. If whatever's holding you back, hopefully this will encourage you to sign up with Worldwide. Reach out to one of our amazing recruitment team members so they can get you hooked in and become a member of the Worldwide family. So, that's it. That's the first first live show. Yay! A couple of kinks to work in because I'm sure Tracy doesn't want to keep chatting me about what's going on in the chat. So a couple of kinks to work out, and we're going to work them out together as you're tuning in weekly to Kari's Corner. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Kari Cooper, coming at you live and direct from Kari's Corner, reminding you, don't face the corner, face the world with Worldwide. I am over and out.